Hello, today we're going to look at factorising, and specifically factorising with what's called a common factor. Now before we factorise, we're just going to do some revision of expanding brackets, or expanding with brackets. So here we've got the example 2, brackets x plus 4 inside the brackets. So hopefully you remember each term inside the bracket, so the x and the plus 4 is multiplied by the term outside the brackets. So 2 multiplied by x, 2x, 2 multiplied by 4 gives us plus 4. Now moving on to factorising. Just before we factorise this expression, just going to do a reminder of what factors are. So if we take the number 63, a factor of 63 would be 9. It divides in exactly. Another one would be 7. It divides in exactly. One that wouldn't be a factor is 10. It doesn't divide in exactly. So 10 is not a factor, but 9 and 7 are factors. Now, we can also talk about algebraic factors. So for instance, what divides exactly into x squared? Well, x divides in exactly, and so does x squared. So factors are terms that divide into other terms exactly, whether they be numbers or algebraic terms. So returning to this example, so factorising 2x plus 8. Well, we look at each term and we see what the common factor is for each term. So let's look at the numbers. Which number goes into 2 and 8? Well, 2 goes into both 2 and 8. Now there's no algebraic term here, no x's here, so we don't have any common x's. So 2 is the only common factor. Set up our brackets. Then we ask ourselves the question 2, or the questions, 2 multiplied by what gives us 2x? Well, that's x. And then 2 multiplied by what gives us 8? That's plus 4. So hopefully you can see from these two examples that when we expand, we go that way. Factorising is just the opposite method where you reverse the process. So expanding and factorising are the opposite processes. Now moving on to slightly trickier examples. Right, let's factorise this. What's common to both? Well, again, no algebraic term here, no x's. So we'll look at the numbers. What goes into 10 and 5? Oh, sorry, 10 and 25. 5 goes into 10 and 5, so take the 5 out. 5 multiplied by what gives us 10x? 5 multiplied by 2x. 5 multiplied by what gives us negative 25. So that's 5 multiplied by negative 5. Now if ever you're unconvinced when you factorise it's the right answer, you can always expand back and double check it. Final example. Look at the numbers again. What's the common factor of 6 and 9? What goes into both 6 and 9? Well, 3 goes into both 6 and 9. Now in this case, not like the case above, we've got algebraic terms, in other words x's, in both of these terms. So what goes into x squared and what goes into x exactly? Well, x does. Now filling in the bracket, 3x multiplied by what gives us 6x squared? Well, 3 multiplied by 2 gives us 6, and x multiplied by x gives us the x squared. Now the next term, 3 multiplied by what gives us 9? Well, 3 multiplied by 3 gives us 9. And x multiplied by what gives us x? Well, that's 1, and we don't need to put that in. Again, just a reminder, if ever you're unconvinced by your factorising, make sure you expand it back out and double check your answer. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.